y'all, it's your girl Cordnie and Ellese. Welcome to my channel, Mommyhood and Entrepreneurship. And happy April, y'all. Happy April. We have made it to quarter two of the year. Quarter two. Yes, y'all, I am ready for quarter two. So what I am about to do during this video is recap quarter one and how everything went during this past quarter and how I'm going to change things up for this upcoming quarter. So for quarter one, I had the opportunity to work with several corporate jobs. I explored a lot of different niches within my photography. I met new people, traveled a whole lot for business, more than I think I could really handle driving. I think that had I been flying to all of them, then I probably would have been okay. But the drive to Texas kicked my butt. So I won't be doing the 10-hour drives by myself with two children ever again. And if I ever do it again, I just ask that you guys be so not gentle with me and so not gently go into my comments and say, I thought you said you weren't going to do that no more. Don't do that again. Just in case I forget. If I forget, literally put the link to this video in that other comment, because for one, that helped the algorithm for that video if you put anything in the comments. For two, it will remind me that Cordnie, you said this the last time you went to Chicago, and now this time when you went to Dallas. Stop driving over 5 hours with children. Maybe if I was by myself, cool, fine, it would have been all right. But you know, my kids are my road dogs. I was like, hey, y'all, let's go to Texas. And that was that. And that was that. And that was right after I went to Memphis. And that's right after I had the super long convention in Nashville too, because I also had the convention in Memphis. And then of course we had to go to Texas. I did a whole lot of traveling for that. And we went to Chattanooga and we stopped in Arkansas and we came back to Memphis and all that kind of stuff. So it was just a very, very full month with that. In addition to that, I played around with new apps where I was trying to learn some marketing things. I don't think that I successfully really learned all of the apps that I was trying to get into. So during this next quarter, I do plan on to be a little bit more spot on with that, or to have someone else out, but I'll talk about that one going into the next quarter. Also, I learned a lot more about budgeting for myself. I did a whole lot of research. I did a whole lot of tax research and accounting research, and prayerfully I'll eventually be able to kind of share with you guys what I've learned. Of course, I'm not a tax preparation person. I'm not a financial advisor. Make sure you contact your own financial advisor, your own lawyers, all that other kind of stuff. I'm just sharing with you all my own personal experiences, but I did learn how to budget better and how to use my money better and things like that. I do think that I overspent in Starbucks in March, because if I didn't, y'all probably would have fell asleep on somebody's road, but I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. I'm not falling asleep on anybody's road, but Starbucks definitely got me through. Starbucks and the good Lord Jesus got me through March, because I was really all over the place. I used networking to be able to, one, help my business, but also to be able to help me figure out what I really want to do in a more scalable way. So I did realize that there is a gap in a lot of creatives actually working their passion, and I really want to help creatives to be able to push their passion forward. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that on a community service level. I might turn it into a business later, but I definitely want to figure out a way to help creatives to actively be able to work full time within their passion. Full time, I don't mean just enough money to get by. I mean enough money to be able to live, to be able to take care of your living expenses, enough money to be able to invest very well, enough money to be able to have fun and leisure. Go on and throw saving in there. So you want to make sure that you can do those things. You want to live, invest, save, and have fun and leisure time. You want to be able to spend time with your family without worrying if you're not going to be able to pay gas. You want to be able to spend time with your friends or go traveling without wondering if you're not going to be able to get that new equipment that you need for your business. So you want to make sure that you have enough money to do all of those things, and you can only figure that out if you do your budget. So last month I spent a lot of time figuring out what my budget looks like now, what I want my goals to be in the future, and what I want my life to look like in the future, and what that budget might look like with that life, or could or will look like with that life. At very minimum, want to make sure that I am reaching for the things that I actually want. So this past quarter, for quarter one of this year, I decided that I was going to focus on the preparation of this next year, making sure that I'm using my 30s to be in my love space. By my love space, I mean my passion, my purpose, living in my truth. Right now I am doing photography, which is what I love to do. I am on YouTube, which I am learning that I actually love it. I actually did it initially to get out a bunch of tips that people have been asking me about, that I wanted to be able to put somewhere to be able to give people that. And with that idea in mind, I am making sure that since I spent all of my times during my 20s figuring out what I did and don't like and what I did and don't love, and then I spent the end of my 20s and going into the beginning of my 30s just allowing myself to focus on one or two things. One thing was photography. The second thing was makeup. I slowly kind of dwindled out of makeup and I've started hiring out for makeup, and I've allowed my second thing to be YouTube. And yes, it has been a struggle. Not all of the times have I been consistent. I wish I could say that I have been super consistent. I practiced that so from I think about November or December until February, and then I wanted to do the whole Women's History Month all month long with March, but then I had the two biggest gigs back to back in March. So with the two of those, it was just like, and the travel to Texas, it was nonstop, y'all. It was nonstop, and I am still a mom and I am still a human being, and I probably should have had those videos up prior to, but with me trying to hit almost every day in February and still having a full-time business and being a mom, it was just really hard. And right now I'm in the trenches all by my lonesome, so with a little bit of help, but mainly most of the stuff is being done by just me, which that will be changing, but I'll be talking about the next quarter. But in this past quarter, I was really able to get to the bottom of what I have versus what I want, what that looks like in my budget now, and what that will look like in my budget later, so I can work towards that. I have it on paper, on my digital paper, because it's in my budget, my budgeting app. I got inspired. I listened to a lot of YouTube videos. I listened to a lot of podcasts. Y'all, I was on Earn Your Leisure like nobody's business. I was on Aaron on Demand like nobody's business. I was on David Shands and all his podcasts like nobody's business. I was listening to Donnie Wiggins and Kiana Watson and Ms. Ronnie Brown. Ms. Ronnie Brown, y'all, I made a whole video on just one of the millions of quotes. Girl, man, let me tell you, homegirl got bars. And I was getting so inspired off of Miss Ronnie Brown. We're last name twins until whenever I get married, girl, unless I marry somebody last name Brown. But, you know, for right now, we're last name twins, Miss Ronnie. And trust me, if you ever see this video, just know that you and everybody else that I just mentioned have completely changed my life for, at the very minimum, this year. I'm pretty sure that the things that y'all taught me in this last quarter by itself will impact me for the rest of my life, and it's going to impact the people that I impact. So I just want to say ahead of time, before I ever meet any of y'all, because God willing, I will meet y'all, some of y'all, if not all of y'all, sometime soon. I'm going to put all of y'all on my vision board somehow. I don't know. I hadn't even done my vision board for this year, y'all. That was something that I actually didn't get done during the quarter, but I am going to get it done sometime soon. I said that all of 2021, but I really am going to get a vision board done for 2022. I promise. 2021, I was over there looking at my old vision boards because I just did not have the inspiration to put together a new vision board. I didn't know what I wanted it to look like. I just looked at my old ones, and that was okay, because looking at those old ones still pushed me forward, and I allowed that to be it, okay? I came up with my word for the year. I came up with my theme for the year during this past quarter. I have been getting myself organized and getting my business organized, throwing away a bunch of papers that I don't need, throwing away a bunch of files within my Google Docs, deleting pictures that are blurred or whatever out of my Lightroom and out of my cell phone, getting rid of trashed up emails. Like, y'all, I've literally just been cleaning my life and preparing my life for the year. So that has been what I did for my quarter one, and I guess I'm just going to tell y'all really quick what I want to do for my quarter two, because it's not going to take a whole video to tell you that. For my quarter two, now that I know that I am mainly changing my niche almost completely to just corporate clients and weddings. That's it. Corporate clients and weddings. I mainly want to do conventions, speeches, working with keynote speakers, working with actual small businesses who need headshots, things like that, or who need event photography for their businesses. I want to only really work with those people and weddings. I get the same kind of joy from working at weddings as I do from being at that 8,000 person convention. Like, I literally feel the exact same amount of joy, not even just happiness, but joy when I was at that convention and when I am at the weddings. Y'all, I am personally feeling connected to the speeches. I am feeling connected to the conversation. And I was around a bunch of CEOs who I got to listen to them talk about CEO type stuff. Y'all, I learned so much. I learned so much about business and just mindsets in general. You know, people talking about taxes and the kind of people that these people are involved with. I actually felt super inspired. You want to know why? Because everybody treated me like family. Everyone treated me with respect, and they just poured into me. Like, there were so many smiles and good spirits and love and happiness in the space. And there is so much education and knowledge and wisdom in the space. Y'all, I just felt so encouraged from just being in the environment. That's what I really got to feel the heart of, is just being around entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs who are really chasing after something huge. And so I really want to do more conventions and expos like that, and workshops where it is pushing somebody to be a greater version of something, and where I have to run around and hustle and, you know, the hustle and bustle of it. You guys got my blood rushing every single day. I was supposed to leave most days like around 4 or 5, and I was there till 7, sometimes 9 o'clock at night getting stuff done. And I was totally okay with it because I was loving it. I was so here for it. So for Q2, I'm reaching out to those clients and emailing those clients and really pushing my new niche. So now that I figured out something that I love, and I've done a couple of workshops and conferences and things like that, but just nothing this big. So I'm considering this my first convention, because the other ones, they were smaller. They were more like conferences. And this was like my first convention. So I'm going to call this my first convention, even though technically some things I worked before were called conventions. Y'all, for me, I'm considering this my first convention. And I just am using that as my encouragement to move on into this next chapter. So Q2 will be all about keeping the momentum going now that a decision has been made, making sure that I'm staying on course with the plans that I've made. I do want to create a vision board. Hopefully that gets done during this quarter. We will see. I am going to post a lot of videos. I'm batching a lot of them today since I have my daughter taken care of today. So I am at home by myself and I can get as many videos as I possibly need to get recorded today. So y'all, prayerfully, I can get at least 10 recorded today before I pick up my kids. If I can, that would be so lit, because then I will do the same thing tomorrow. And if I get 20 videos recorded today, oh, y'all ain't got ish to worry about, okay? Nothing to worry about. Nothing. Zip, zap, nada. So anyway, those are my updates. Those are the things that I accomplished or at least figured out during Q1, and what I am trying to do for this upcoming quarter. What are you going to do to get your quarter started off right? Don't forget, we are in April, so make sure that your taxes are good. Make sure you're talking to your bookkeepers, your financial consultant, your accountant, everybody who you need to make sure that by April 15th, you are good to go. Also, if you're in Nashville, please remember to vote May 3rd. It's a very important election. If you're in another city and you have a voting day come up, please, God, just figure out when the voting day is, okay? Figure out when the voting day is. Make yourself available on that voting day for this quarter, because this is part of this quarter. So figure out when that voting day is. Figure out who's running, what they stand for. Go to a couple of the events. You can even network while you're there. If you want to be there for more than just politics, network with the people, okay? Network while you're there. But go to the events, learn about what they're about. Go and look at past, if you got people who's gone up for school board meetings, you need to go and look at those prior videos and make sure that they're not one of those folks out there saying your kids are not our kids because they're in charter schools. Make sure that you know exactly who you're voting for, things that they have said in the past, what's their track record. These coming up where you're voting for school board and court officials and your council people, these elections really do matter. You know, your mayors and your senators and even though everything's not running all together at once, right now we have a lot of very important people who we need to make sure that we're voting for. So that's my spiel. I know this video has been long as all get out, but I hope that you watched it to the end. Please, please, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. Happy spring, happy Resurrection Sunday month, and I hope you all have a wonderful April. I will see y'all in the next video. Thank you for tuning in. It's your girl, Ellese. Check it out. Ciao.